Welcome to Urban Fantasy PH. We are creatives who live in an urban society and give readers wish fulfillment by way of our stories, which is fantasy but reflective of reality. Here, we get to talk to fellow creatives like writers, authors, artists, comic book creators, filmmakers, you name it. We create and share our art here in the Philippines as well as abroad. My name is CJ Edmunds, I'm your host, and here is today's episode. Good morning, happy Wednesday, and I hope the rain has not dampened your mood too much. I know these days the weather can really be a downer, but I hope that all of you are safe, all of you are well, and above all, you're all dry. We've been getting a lot of rain for the past week or weeks, and there seems to be no letting up from it. Now, today is the 21st episode for Season 3, and 21st episode for the show in general, and this is the last episode for Season 3, which was our month-long Pride-centric season for the month of June. I know it's been a while since the last episode, but I felt that we couldn't really properly move on to the next season without some sort of recap and personal update from yours truly, and that's what we're doing today. So hence the first solo episode of the podcast. Now, first off, I'd like to thank our guests from Season 3, and we would not have completed the Pride Month broadcast without you guys coming on board. So thank you, Chambi Chambulero, Richard Mercado, Alex Alcacid, and Logi High for gracing our Pride season. And since we only have 4 weeks in June, I figured a recap episode is best in order to sort of cap things as we move forward. Now, second, just because Pride Month is over, it also doesn't mean that it stops there, because Pride is not just a month. You guys know that. I mean, it is a sense of self. It is a way of life. It is also how you look at yourself along with the world around you. Now, like we said in episodes past when we tackled it, no one is obligated to come out if they're not ready, and no one should also out anybody if they're not ready, because it is a personal decision. Okay, and so if you're considering it, remember that you hold the power to do that. Don't give it away. Don't let others feel that they can use that against you, because it is your power, and above all, it is your right. All caps. Okay, it is your right. Now, if anyone you know is doing that or threatening you with it, remember the choice and the power is yours always. Now, having said that, mental health is one of the things that we all try to, keep. And while the pandemic has shed a much needed light of that here in our country, the topic of mental health is nothing new in other countries. And we do what we need in order to keep ourselves sane, happy, and productive. Now, I deal it with my own way. And this year, my way is to finally publish another book. All right, let me share it with you. And ta-da! Yes, that is the book right here. Okay, this blue book is called Sojourn. Now, let me hold this other book, which is also entitled Sojourn, but with a sort of subtitle of sorts. There you go. And it also has a different cover. Okay, now there's a reason for it, and let me thank my artist, the brilliant Maylee Marin, for the original art, as well as for the art in my previous release last year in print that's entitled Take Me Now, which does a brief cameo right here. Okay, as from the title and also the way that the book is, you know that it's not for kids. Hindi po siya pang bata. Okay, now the second cover, which has the subtitle, let me hold it up again. We're back to Sojourn again. This was not done by Maylee, but an artist in the US. And the reason for that at the time, the original source file of the art was missing. And with Maylee's computer in flux and broken, there was no way to retrieve it. So I had a new one made, and it became the cover for the digital version of the book. Now, when it came to having the book in print, I went back to the source file, and in spite of the limitations, the brilliant Maylee was able to tinker with it and save the day. I spoke to the printers and wondered if they could accommodate, two covers, and they said yes. So here we are with two print covers to choose from. Now, these two print covers are also available here locally in print, and readers abroad at the time of the podcast's recording will only be able to read the book digitally. But we are working to change that pretty soon and make the print version also available to readers outside the country. Now, for those who knew of my two digital releases from before and probably wondering why it took me that long to see it in print, I guess because at one time I felt that digital was okay and it seemed to reach the audience that I wanted. What I failed to see that I myself limited my audience that I should be reaching, which is you, the local audience. Not everyone has a Kindle device. Not everyone has a tablet that they can read digitally from, and surely not everyone likes to read it on screen because they prefer to read books in print. Okay, me too. Along with that came the lesson from my constant viewings of the Creative Pen podcast, that is, with the ever productive, prolific, and inspiring Joanna Penn, as well as the self publishing show with best selling thriller author Mark Dawson and military fiction author James Blatch, that constantly reinforced the need to share your work wide, wide as much as you can. And I know that, and I realized after listening to them, because I was limiting myself to just purely digital, I was, missing out a lot. Okay. And going wide means not only that you do make your book available in one vendor, it also means that it is best to have them in different formats. That is from digital to print and also audio. Now, I mentioned mental health moments ago, and certainly one of the things that you need to do to keep your mental health at tip-top levels or healthy levels is to stay away from negative people. And that is those who bring you down and those who do not support you in any way. But you know what? Guess what? We can also bring ourselves down. We can also be talking down to ourselves, telling our inner selves that we are not enough, that we are no good, and that we can't possibly match, duplicate, or even exceed the success levels of others. How dare we reach for the stars when they are unreachable? All right, we can do that to ourselves. Believe me. So for the longest time, I guess I was dealing with that, and it's called imposter syndrome. And a lot of fellow creatives know what that is like. Gosh, even Neil Gaiman talked about it. The most successful creative to have ever walked the face of the earth also knows about it and has talked about it. And up until I have accepted myself as a creative and as someone who puts pen to paper and has an active imagination and is willing to share his stories with others regardless, then I probably would be ending up asking the question repeatedly, what if, what if, what if? So to change that, changed it last year, bit the bullet, grabbed and wore the gauntlet and released my first book, which is entitled Take Me Now. Now, with that release, I have joined different conventions, different events, and I've shared about it. I've talked about it, about my work, and the response has been gratifying and fulfilling. It has allowed me to meet readers and fellow creatives. It validated deep inside what I already know, that it feels good to do that. All right. Now share your work to the world, like and meeting fellow people who are willing to listen and take a chance on a new creative. Now this year I'm repeating the same process and released Sojourn with two covers, and I am ready and raring to go. Okay. Now I'm talking about this like the whole process of writing and releasing a book, like it's so simple that it's simplified and you just sit down one day and poof, magically a book happens. Now fellow writers know that it does not work that way. A lightning bolt of inspiration and motivation may hit you one day, but what happens when the next day comes and you're not in the mood? Right? I had to learn it the hard way, that to rely on mood is not exactly reliable at all. Okay, it may help you, it may propel you to move forward, but will it sustain you? Okay, that's where the difference lies. You have to look at it as a job, I guess, in a way, wherein you clock in, you sit on your chair, do the work, and clock out after once you've either met your word count of the day or you've devoted 30 minutes or an hour to it. Now, everyone will have different ways of writing. It can be 500 words a day, or even 100 a day, as some people have done that. Some people manage only 30 minutes a day, regardless of the number of words. Now, there is no one process at all. You would have to discover your own process as you go along. And as you learn to, schedule that along with other areas of interest and priorities in your life. If you feel that you create best in the morning before going to work, okay, do that. If you think that there's enough stamina for you to do the work when you get home after work, then perhaps that is also an opening that you'd want to consider. Or if you can squeeze in a few words during your commute or in during your lunch hour, snacking on a sandwich, and you have nowhere else to write except your phone, then aren't you glad that we live in this age of smartphones, right? Mark Dawson used to be a lawyer, but now he's a best-selling thriller author from the UK who created a self-publishing show with James Blatch. Did that when he was starting out. He would type his daily word count on his phone on the way to work, or taking a train, or even just waiting for it. So, in short, you have to really do whatever works for you. That is, if you are seriously thinking of being a creative or you consider yourself one. All right. Mine it, use it, discover it, and enjoy the process as you make it. It will change. Not everyone's process stays the same. It may differ. And if you feel that you have the stamina for this and doing this for the long haul, um, it's a never-ending process that will change, a never-ending process that you'll need to adapt to your needs and to the changes that come into your life. Okay, you vary it as you create. In short, okay. Now, in other updates, as of this recording, me and YA fantasy author Jane Vergara, who we had on the previous season, we're going to be participating in October Fair. Yeah, it's a play on words because it's a toy fair. October Fair, this October 21 and 22nd, right? At the Santa Lucia East Grand Mall. This is, of course, close to the Marikina area. And we're going to be, I know, seated at tables 41 and 42. So, just come and join us. We would love, 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 love to see you. And if you have not gotten a copy of our respective books, we would be more than happy to sign it for you. Now, if we get to join another event in between that, in August or in September, of course, we will let you know. But best is just to follow me on my respective social accounts. That's Kaz Edmunds on IG and on Threads. Yes, we are on Threads now. CJEdmunds.writer on Facebook and CJEdmunds1 on X, formerly Twitter. I still like to call it Twitter, regardless of what Elon Musk says. It's still Twitter before X for me. And also my website, cjedmunds.com. So you can follow the show, of course, on Facebook and IG and Threads as well. And likewise, listen to this on Spotify and watch us on YouTube if in case you prefer to see us visually. Just look for Urban Fantasy PH and you're good to go. And the show is, again, in the middle of seasons. That is, we're working our way to season 4. But, of course, when it's up, it will always be on Wednesday, both for Spotify as well as on my own YouTube channel. You have the option to listen or to watch us. We give you that choice. And whether you're listening to us or watching, just please click the subscribe button and ding ding, ring the bell so you do not miss a episode and you will thus be notified when a new one comes in. Okay, so that's just a really quick update. That is a wrap for season 3, and we are working behind the scenes to bringing you season 4 soon. Just stay tuned, and we will see you again with a host of different creatives to inspire you and to kind of like let you know what's going on with them. And hopefully, if you've been following the podcast for this long, Hopefully, one of the episodes wherein a guest comes on and they'd say some words of encouragement and words of wisdom that will speak to you. Uh, Allow the words to do that, to sink into you, and hopefully motivate you to create and push forward so that you can release and share your own work to the public. All right. Thank you to Spine Books for your support since day one. And if you are a creative and you would like to be featured on the podcast, just email us at urbanfantasyph at gmail.com. So remember to celebrate who you are and who you have come to be. Everybody's journey is different. Everyone's journey is so different. Some can be easy, some can be harder than others, but you can't judge until you've walked in their shoes. Okay? So till the next episode, Indie Authors Unite. Keep creating, and we will keep reading. Stay safe, stay creative, read as much as you can. Namaste, and blessed be. Thank you. See you in season 4. And also, if you wish to get a copy of the books, you can just visit the Spine Books Shopee page, and I'll put the link down there in the show notes as well. But the link is shopee.ph/spinebooks. That's Shopee with a double E, but with a single P. So you can get either of these two, or if you want, you can get both of them. And if you have not caught up with what's going on in the Dark District, this is book number 1. Book number 2 is being edited, and it's going to come out next year. So Sojourn is in a way a prequel of sorts, and it's something that everybody can read, but this one's a little bit more adult material. So that's where the difference lies. Okay, just so you know.
That was another episode of Urban Fantasy PH. Join us next time as we feature another creative soul who wants their art to be seen, heard, and shared. If you have your own work to share, just email us at urbanfantasyph@gmail.com. Till the next episode, this is independent author, singer-songwriter, radio personality, voice actor, and fellow creative, CJ Edmunds, reminding you to always listen to your heart, create with your mind, and share with your soul. Goodbye, everybody. Namaste. Blessed be.